We are live. This is it. This is it. I mean, there's no more thinking like, well, you're this game ahead, you can do this, or you're, you're behind by 2, so you can do this. It's like having a best of 1 all over again, Chill. And so let's go ahead and introduce our players here in the northeast position as the Blue Protoss from LGIM. It is first. And in the southwest position as the Red Terran. Will he advance on and keep all the Team Liquid fans happy? It is Liquid TaeJa.
You know, in this series, the longer it goes on, the worse I think TaeJa, or not the worst, but the less TaeJa-like TaeJa is looking. He seems to be the one that's going for these all-ins, that's doing very early aggressive builds that aren't paying off. You know, that last game, pulling all the SCVs and counter-attacking, a bit of a strange idea. Obviously, it worked out. I don't want to fault someone that does something that gets them a win, but I'm not sure it was actually the absolute best thing to do there. Meanwhile, First is looking pretty solid here. He's looking like the player that's, you know, kind of the that his opponent's more fearful of.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, First, there's no doubt about it. First results as of late, and obviously being a member of LGIM just means that you have a ridiculous deep talent pool to be able to practice with. And in this case, you know, having MVP as a practice partner, not too shabby. But you're talking about 2 completely different styles of play, and I do feel like First has definitely adapted to TaeJa's style. You know, if you were to throw them at a best of 5 times during the day, I'd be willing to bet that it would be split kind of right down the middle, because with both these guys showcasing some great different build orders, some great responses to what they're seeing their opponent do. And, you know, this series has been no exception. But now we're down to this best of 1. We see this Rax. And this is more. You know, you mentioned that we're seeing not so much the TaeJa that we're used to seeing. And this is it right here, hiding that Rax. It is going to be found. And, again, it's not meant to like, oh, my gosh, he hit the Rax on the low ground. He's going to put on crazy pressure. But again, it's that psychological game that he wants to play with his opponent. And now we see that command center going down the low ground. Probe did try to deny it a little bit, but with the Marine coming out, it is easy peasy. And now we're going to see this SCV get a scout of First.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's just that 2-second moment when you go in, there's no barracks. But I mean, everything calms down. He builds the cybernetics core as usual, builds the zealot, and tracks down that barracks. And really, TaeJa paid no price for doing that kind of tricky early build, and we've seen him do it time and time again in the past, in all Terran matchups actually. So now he's got this SCV in the main base, gonna dance around, play with the zealot a little bit, and gonna run on home. He's seen all that he needs to see. Only 1 assimilator down for First, and meanwhile TaeJa going with a double refinery follow-up here. Yeah,
and pretty typical. Likely going to see well, I don't know. I mean, obviously he can go up if he's going to continue down that road of going super bio. It means that he's going to be able to get that +1 and maybe a stim really quickly, but he's only still has the 1 barracks, and we haven't seen him add on quite yet to that. There goes the Nexus for First, so that is down, and Chronoboosts look like they are kind of being spread all around. I think he's thrown a couple down on his Nexus, 1 on his cybernetics core, but over on the other side, where's the follow-up? There's the factory almost immediately on that first 100 gas, and look at this, 1 Marine taking on, well, here's the 3 that are supposed to be in there, but they weren't. But the Stalker gets out of there anyway, and pretty typical for a start on both sides. The question is, where does each go from here? And there's the robotics facility for First. Kind of expect him to go that way, although his second gas a little bit later than he's gotten it in a few of the other games.
TaeJa getting aggressive, gonna catch the Stalker out. Oh my god, he actually takes it out. That was very surprising. So what happened there was, realized it was a little out of position, and First clearly just right-clicked that back to his main base, and it took the long path instead of, or excuse me, it took the short path right by the Marines instead of running around. So, you know, not the biggest deal, but First isn't going to be happy to lose an early unit, especially one that provides that much information.
So TaeJa went double engineering bay, which is a little bit different from the other games that we've seen him today, where he's just kind of gone with the 1 and added on. when he felt like it was appropriate, throwing down another bunker just in case there might be some like ultra aggression coming his way. But there's the scan to reveal that it is just going to be a 3-gate, and the Robo Bay is not going to be seen, but he's got to imagine that's the way that First likes to play. It's around there somewhere. And the other thing he didn't, and obviously was the Robotics Bay, which was right next to him, but good location based off of this map and the layout of Cloud Kingdom to avoid that scan that's inevitably going to be coming from TaeJa, because money shot, it got all around the Nexus, but he just put it right outside of the range of the gateways to keep that tech hidden from his opponent.
Right, I'm really interested to see how aggressive TaeJa wants to get here, and when he wants to get aggressive. As you mentioned, double engineering bays, and they've now crossed that 50% barrier, so those are going to be finished very quickly. Let's see if he follows up with an armory, and yes, it is going to be an armory, so going to press forward to 2-2. He's got the tank out. I believe he completed siege mode, no, he didn't get siege mode, so just using that on the high ground for a little bit extra defense. Observer going to roll into TaeJa's base so that First is able to correctly identify what's going on, and he's going to stroll right past both of these engineering bases, so he's going to be aware of what TaeJa is doing here.
Yeah, he's also going to see this starport with a tech lab on it, building something. Doesn't know what's going to be coming out of there, but the Observer's just going to park and wait very, very patiently. And the response so far has been, well, keep going with the losses. He's now throwing down 3 additional gateways to make his total 6. First Colossus is out, and he's actually making, oh, interesting. So he's making a second Observer, and he's expecting that to be a Banshee. But it's actually a Raven that comes out, and so he's never going to know. I mean, based off the Stalkers up here and the fact that he stopped Colossus production to make that one Observer, leads me to believe that he did indeed think a Banshee was coming out of there. And look, even throwing down some pylons, like he really thinks it's coming.
And he's floating them around, either going to be checking for Banshees or going to be checking for any future drops, as you mentioned, going along the eastern seaboard, if you will, dropping those pylons. And First is a very fast extended thermal lance here. It's actually complete right about in 2 seconds. And he's going to have that second Colossus out, and he's got his 3 gates completing. So if he wants to go for this 2 base, 2 Colossus attack, it would be very timely here. And I'm surprised that he saw, well, I'm not surprised, but, you know, he saw the double engineering bay. He saw that he's going to be going up against quick upgrades, and he decided not to counter it with upgrades of his own. He may have just gone to maximize his army and hit a timing here.
And will he be able to hit that? I mean, Stim Combat Shield on the way. 2-2, almost done. It's about halfway done, which means that it's about just under 100 seconds. Some additional Vikings already coming out now that he's seen that Colossus. But without the third there, and actually throwing down 3 bunkers because he knows that this is coming. And TaeJa was in a situation very similar to this yesterday during the IPL TAC, but he already had the bunkers up, and upon seeing that the bunkers are not finished, he's going to go ahead and just move forward. SCB's coming out, but there's not much that they're going to be able to do, and with the Vikings not out here yet, what can he possibly do at this point?
And the force field's just isolating all the... You look at that penned up amount of Terran army as they're forced back, and they're just dancing back and forth. TaeJa desperately trying to cling onto this bunker, but it's getting swiped down by the Colossi. One Colossus is going to go down, but look at the amount of units that are left over for First. He is just pounding forward. TaeJa was playing for the super late game, and First said, nah, I'm just going to hit a timing, and I'm going to tear through you into your main base, and that's precisely what's happening here. TaeJa desperately trying to control his ramp, but I think it's too little.
I think it is too little, too late. He's already taken out. He's caused the natural to go down. He's taken out a couple of supply depots. The SCV's moving over here, but versus that Colossus, there's nothing they can do. The Vikings trying to minimize. And there it is. GG Liquid. TaeJa falls.